Lu Xinye lost a bet with his newly recognized younger sister. The punishment is to be single for a month. So he handed me the divorce agreement. Just sign it. It's only a temporary separation for a month. Let's have some sportsmanship. I didn't say anything and obediently wrote down my name. Before long, Lu Xinye lost again. This time you have to stay with her for a night. Just covering with a quilt and chatting. Don't think too much about it. As I spoke, a small square box fell out of my pocket. He cleared his throat lightly, using the excuse of a company matter. But in reality, he headed to the hotel. Once he was far away, I looked down and replied to the message that had just come in. I'm going abroad in a week. Do you want to join? Sure. The next day, I began to pack my luggage. Halfway through, Lu Xinye, who hadn't returned all night, pushed the door open. He had ambiguous red marks on his neck and yawned from lack of sleep. Are you going on a trip? I nodded. Feeling guilty, Lu Xinye didn't think there was anything wrong. You should go out for a walk too. Staying cooped up at home every day won't give you much experience. Unlike Yao Yao, who talks to me about everything under the sun. Song Yao, his younger sister he met at a bar 6 months ago. The two were inseparable, immersed in gambling games. The stakes had evolved from a cup of milk tea and a meal at the beginning to now a hug and a kiss. I have cried and made a scene, but all I got in return was Lu Xinye's disdainful gaze. Just playing around. Why take it so seriously? Gradually, I stopped talking. So now, when I hear him stepping on a handful, I remain silent and quietly continue packing. After a while, Lu Xinye asked, "When are we leaving?" 6 days later. In the next moment, my body suddenly soared into the air. I was caught and thrown onto the bed, landing in the warm embrace of the other person. Don't move. Stay with me for a while. I couldn't break free, forced to inhale the unfamiliar scent of a woman on him. My mind automatically conjuring chaotic images. Entangled, frantic, filthy. As I thought about it, tears began to fall, plopping down one by one. Lu Xinye frowned impatiently, patting his back twice symbolically to show reassurance. Jiang ran. I'm the only one who can tolerate your antics like this. Without me, you'd probably be worse off than a stray dog on the street. He repeated the same words 1,000 times and slowly fell asleep. I wiped away my tears and quietly stepped out, looking at the face I had loved for 10 years. I felt a sense of resolve. Even if I live worse than a dog, I won't stay by his side anymore. As the time to go abroad drew closer, I began to frequently dream of the past, when 80-year-old Lu Xinye saw me for the first time. He was so focused that he tripped and fell flat on his face. A prominent scar was left on his forehead, yet he took pride in it and announced in front of everyone that he would be my only knight, protecting me for a lifetime. Children keep their promises. They say what they mean and mean what they say. The chubby kid next door stole my candy. He cornered me in the alley after school and knocked out 2 of my teeth. Classmate Xiaohua deliberately splashed ink on my skirt. He drew 99 ugly pictures of the other person and plastered them all over the school, scaring them into not daring to come to school. At that time, within 5 meters of Jiang Ran, there was always Lu Xinye. We were inseparable. And we liked each other, until the second day of the new year. It was an ordinary day when my parents died in a plane crash. I became an orphan and was taken in by my uncle. I transferred schools, changed my household registration, and traveled thousands of kilometers to the south. In the unfamiliar environment, I began to learn to go to school alone, eat alone, be alone. Clearly, my schedule was packed, yet my heart always felt empty. On the day I was diagnosed with depression, my uncle's accusatory and bewildered gaze weighed heavily on me, making it hard to breathe. I stood at the base of a 30-story building, gazing up at the rooftop with a sense of longing. When I pulled my gaze back, I unexpectedly saw Lu Xinye. I thought it was an illusion, but he truly walked right in front of me, looking at me with eyes full of starlight. Ran. I've been thinking about you to the point of madness. I instantly broke down in tears and cried. Take me away. I don't want to stay in this place where clothes will mold after a few days and cockroaches can't be killed. Lu Xinye coaxed me for a long time, then went to plead with my uncle. Kneeling on the ground, he swore, I will take good care of Ran. Accompany her to complete her studies, and help her get into her ideal university, or I won't die a good death. And so, he brought me back. After graduating from university, he married me and brought me home. At the wedding, he put a ring on my finger, crying like a child. Once again swearing with his life that he would make me happy for a lifetime, but I opened my eyes. The other end of the double bed was empty and cold. Lu Xinye had not come home for 5 days. The only way to understand him now is through his social circle. In the latest update, he has medical gauze covering his forehead, as if he has just undergone surgery. The comments below ask what happened. He replied, Yao said that old scar was too ugly and affected my looks, so she had it removed. I was suddenly taken aback. The mark that symbolized the night was gone, and he would no longer protect me. I comforted myself that it was okay. I would be leaving tomorrow, and there was no need to dwell on it too much. But the pain in my heart was something I couldn't ignore. After a long time, the phone suddenly dinged, and a message popped up. Coming to Nightshade soon. Nightshade is the largest entertainment venue in the city, filled with a mix of people and a variety of pastimes, where men and women indulge without restraint. It is also the place where Lu Xinye and Song Yao met. I don't like it there, so I put down my phone and tried to act as if I hadn't seen it. I didn't expect another message to come right after. If you don't show up for over an hour, you can stay at home for the rest of your life. Lu Xinye knows I'm going out tomorrow. That's why he's threatening me like this. In the end, I could only grit my teeth and go. Pushing open the door to the designated private room, a sudden cheer erupted from within. 42 minutes. Brother Yi bet that he would arrive in 30 minutes. And he lost. Sister Yao wins. I've already lost 18 times tonight. Brother Yi can't be doing this on purpose. Can he? Brother Yi is so spoiled. Lu Xinye glanced over to the door, excitement hidden in his eyes. But he didn't acknowledge me. He turned and pulled Song Yao from across the table, kissing her fiercely. The expensive liquor on the table was knocked over onto the floor, and the two were completely oblivious. When they parted, a thin silver thread tugged at the corners of their mouths. Lingering and bittersweet, the raucous cheers around them nearly tore the roof off. I suddenly felt nauseous and wanted to leave this place. Just as I took a step, someone called out to me, Jiang Ran, come here. I walked over, enduring my discomfort, and was pulled onto his lap by Lu Xinye, pinching my cheek. He scolded, that was a game penalty just now. You're not allowed to be jealous. It's all your fault for being so slow, which made me lose the bet. I instinctively apologized. I'm sorry. The person next to them clicked their tongue in admiration. Sister-in-law is really well behaved. No matter how wild brother plays, he has no objections. I want to find someone like that in the future. Lu Xinye waved his hand dismissively. Don't. Being too well behaved is boring. Then I'll look for someone like Sister Yao, who knows how to have fun and is exciting enough. Sure, as long as you're not afraid of pain. He deliberately tilted his head, revealing fresh bite marks on his neck. This made Song Yao, who was drinking, laugh and scold. What are you pretending for? Didn't you ask me to go harder last night? You even said it didn't hurt or feel good. Lu Xinye irritably tossed a banana at him. You should practice your skills more. They bickered as if I didn't exist at all. The gazes of the onlookers, watching the spectacle, pierced me like knives, almost suffocating. I clutched my clothes tightly and whispered, can I go back now? I'm a bit tired. Lu Xinye was momentarily taken aback, only then realizing I was still there. I touched my nose and casually called for the waiter to take me away. But Song Yao disagreed. Sister-in-law rarely comes. Let's have a bet and have some fun. I instinctively wanted to refuse. But Lu Xinye answered for me. Sure. Are you afraid? Song Yao quickly took out a sieve, cutting off my escape route. The simplest one. Comparing sizes. The winner can ask the other person for an item. A cunning light flickered in her eyes, making one feel uneasy. Lu Xinye timely grasped my shoulder, reassuring me, don't be nervous. Yao Yao just loves bags and jewelry. If you lose, just take any piece from your storage room and give it to her. I never cared about those things, so if I had to give one, so be it. With a glimmer of hope, I nodded in agreement. The 2 dice rattled in the cup, and after 10 seconds, they were forcefully slammed onto the table, coming to a stop. Song Yao said first, I guess big. I automatically chose small. The result was that I lost. She immediately reached out to ask. Sister-in-law's necklace is quite beautiful. I like it. I suddenly froze, gripping the pendant at my chest and taking a step back. This won't do. Song Yao's face turned ugly. What's going on? Can't you take a joke? Do you have any spirit of the game at all? After the accusations, dozens of disdainful gazes pierced through. I hurriedly explained. This is my mother's keepsake. I can't give it away. You can choose something else. There are tens of millions worth of jewelry at home. My parents didn't leave me much, and I lost quite a bit during the several times we moved. Now, this is all I have left. I absolutely cannot lose it. Song Yao scoffed coldly. Why didn't you say it was impossible just now? It's too late now. The bet has taken root. And there's no reason for swapping. If I like you, you have to give in to me. Otherwise, if we break the rules, no one will play anymore. She was aggressive and unwilling to back down. I could only look to Lu Xinye for help. He knew how important the necklace was to me. And he would definitely help me. He said, Jiang Ran, take off the necklace. I stood there in a daze, momentarily losing all my strength. Song Yao couldn't wait to step forward and take her spoils, pulling at my neck. It left several wounds that oozed blood. I stared at Lu Xinye as if I didn't feel any pain. He was quite indifferent, not feeling that there was anything wrong with this. Anyway, I can win it back. You. Halfway through his sentence, there was a crisp sound from the ground. Oops. My hand slipped. How can this thing be so fragile? It shattered into 8 pieces. Really ugly. Really ugly. Song Yao stepped on the fragments and walked away, not forgetting to kick it. The room was extremely quiet, and I stiffly bent down to pick up the pieces on the floor. The last piece fell at Lu Xinye's feet. He wanted to help, but I dismissed him. Get lost. Lu Xinye had grown accustomed to being adored like the moon surrounded by stars. And now, faced with defiance, any hint of guilt in his heart vanished without a trace. His tone was icy. Jiang Ran, there's a limit to your stubbornness. I ignored him, carefully wrapped the shards in a handkerchief, and then turned to walk outside. A loud crash sounded behind me. As something was kicked over, the atmosphere was tense, and a mediator stepped in to speak. Brother Yi, why not try to comfort your sister-in-law? She looks like she's been hurt pretty badly. Lu Xinye coldly snorted. Indifferent. Don't worry about her. I've already divorced her. What happens to her outside has nothing to do with me. All these years, I've been too good to her, spoiling her to the point where she doesn't know her place, thinking everyone should cater to her. She even dares to play tricks and ruin everyone's mood. It's just a dead person's broken necklace. Is it really that serious? It's insane. If you want to leave, then go ahead. Just wait. She has no father, no mother, no friends. I'm her only savior. Within 3 days, she'll come back, shamelessly begging for my forgiveness. He said a lot of harsh words, but I never looked back, nor did I shed a single tear. This time, We are truly finished. After returning, I put the broken pieces of the necklace into a sachet and hung it back on myself. Then I stared at the empty room, feeling a wave of emptiness. It was as if there was nothing left. After all these years, I haven't been able to hold on to anything. What a waste. I couldn't help but wonder again, why didn't I get on that plane? Then I could be with Mom and Dad forever. I wouldn't have to be taken away by the uncle who wanted the inheritance, nor would I have to be brought back by the boy who would later change his mind. I wouldn't have to drift like a piece of duckweed, homeless and despised. After thinking for a moment, I sent a message to that person. I won't be going tomorrow. Wish you a safe journey. After finishing, I walked into the bathroom, just as the water in the bathtub was about to reach the tip of my nose. A sudden ringtone forcefully invaded my ears. It was urgent and loud. I struggled to get up as if possessed and answered the call. My throat, soaked in water, felt sore and swollen. I forced out his name, Pei Xinjian. Pei Xinjian was a student from a poor background whom I had sponsored. After graduating and getting married, Lu Xinye rejected all my offers, saying that society was perilous and fearing that I might trigger a relapse of depression by being exposed too much. As long as he supports me, that's enough. Just let me obediently stay at home and enjoy life. In the first 2 years, I hardly had to lift a finger for clothes or meals, both happy and leisurely, watching dramas and browsing the internet. I stumbled upon a website filled with young students who are struggling in life yet harboring dreams. It tugged at my heartstrings, and since I wasn't short on money, I decided to sponsor more than a dozen of them in one go. Later, I found out that most of them were frauds. Only Pei Xinjian was different. He was the most miserable, without parents, starting to work and study part-time since elementary school. He was also the most sincere, never asking for an extra penny, only wanting enough to eat each month, and would return any surplus. He revealed all his information to me, would report his daily activities, and share the certificates and medals he earned. Later, I witnessed Pei Xinjian get accepted into a prestigious university and start his own company with his peers. On the day he graduated from university, he was not only an outstanding graduate but also had achieved some success in his career. I felt a sense of comfort for him, yet I declined the invitation to attend the ceremony and unilaterally severed our contact. Because my father once said, "When a person is in a low point, lend a hand. When a person is at a high point, do not seek recognition." It wasn't until 6 months ago that we reunited at the headquarters of the Lu Group. He came to discuss business, and I came to visit the set. The negotiation had just ended. Lu Xinye, frustrated for not getting the ideal ratio, knocked over the lunch I brought in a fit of anger and then left in a huff. The broth that had been simmering for 4 or 5 hours spilled on the floor and stained the hem of my skirt. The atmosphere was awkward, leaving one at a loss. At that moment, a man in a suit walked over, squatted down, and wiped me clean. "Sister, your husband has a really bad temper." Pei Xinjian raised his head to look at me, his demeanor shifting from the tough negotiator to that of a docile wolf. That was our first meeting in person. Later, due to business interactions, we met more frequently and resumed our online communication. On the day I walked out of the Civil Affairs Bureau, Lu Xinye couldn't wait to head to the hotel. Pei Xinjian just sent a message asking, "Sister, how have you been lately?" I spoke honestly. "Not very well. I got divorced, and I don't know where to go." He suggested, "You can go outside for a walk and clear your mind." But the birds have stayed in the greenhouse for too long, and even when they return to the sky, they don't know where to fly. Pei Xinjian added, "I'm going on a business trip to Switzerland in a week. The scenery there is beautiful. Do you want to come along?" "Sure," the voice on the other end asked nervously. "Does sister have other plans?" I looked at the bathroom filled with water, momentarily at a loss for words. "No." "Then why did you change your mind?" "Because I'm a bit tired." A life that is utterly bleak and exhausting is too much for me. I don't want to struggle anymore. Pei Xingjian remained silent for a long time. On the phone, there was only the sound of the wind for a long while. I thought the call was about to end and was getting ready to stand up and return to the bathroom. I didn't expect to hear him speak again. Sister, let me take care of you, so you won't have to be so tired. I was suddenly taken aback, losing the courage to leave alone. My fingertips trembled slightly, cautiously producing an affirmative monosyllable. Pei Xingjian arrived very quickly. I don't know how fast he was driving, but he reached downstairs before the call ended. He changed the flight ticket and took me straight to the airport. The action was so swift it felt like I was being kidnapped and taken away. When I got on the plane, my hair was still wet, and I was still a bit dazed. He brought a blanket, draped it over my shoulders, ordered a hot drink, and placed it in my hands. Then, like performing a magic trick, he pulled out a stack of magazines from his bag and placed them in front of me. You can take a look if you're bored. You studied fine arts in the past. And these are some of the more authoritative publications from recent years, both domestic and international. You should find them interesting. His voice was gentle and accommodating. They'll handle a few minor tasks. Just call me whenever you need something. Once I nodded. Pei Xingjian turned to the computer and began to work. The light from the screen illuminated his delicate face, while his long fingers danced across the keyboard. Dressed impeccably, he looked just like the untouchable elite from a film or drama. Yet, for some reason, I felt a sense of calm. Sipping my drink slowly, I could feel my body gradually warming up. Opening a magazine, the dazzling colors of the pages instantly burst into my eyes, filling a life that was once only black and white. The moon outside is bright. It illuminates the sky, as if it can also light up my life. After arriving in Bern, the capital of Switzerland, Pei Xingjian took me to the hotel, a room. I sleep in the master bedroom. He sleeps in the guest bedroom. He came this time to inspect the machinery factory of our partner, which is crucial for the company's future large orders. So the previous week was particularly busy. I always wake up early to find no one around, only a note on the table with greetings and a prepared breakfast, and the daily updated travel guide. It covers everything in detail, from what mode of transportation to take, which nearby restaurant to eat at, to what time to check in at which attraction. He is like an invisible tour guide. Though unseen, he is everywhere. Following the guide, I visited many places: art galleries, museums, clock towers, rose gardens, taking photos, eating, enjoying the scenery, experiencing various performances, feeling wonderful and excited. During the spare time while transferring, even the most ordinary streets are interesting. Uniquely designed streetlights can be admired for a long time, like a country bumpkin who has never seen the world. I weave through the city, yet I feel an unprecedented sense of relaxation and freedom. Lu Xinye has never taken me far from home. He always says that I have a history of depression and should limit my exposure to the outside world to reduce my overthinking. In the past, I lived within a limited world, which made me feel utterly bored. But now, I find myself somewhat enamored with this world. Pei Xingjian and I would meet for the second time of the day during dinner. After the meal, he patiently listens to me share my experiences, with a gentle smile always playing at the corners of his mouth. Then transformed into a boastful machine. Sister, have you considered taking up photography? The landscapes you capture are so beautiful. Science popularizer. Today I, a blank slate in art history, am really gaining some knowledge. Being told this by someone 5 years younger than me made my cheeks flush, and I couldn't take it anymore. Calling a halt. Stop right there. Who taught you to flatter like this? I learned it from my sister. My heart skipped a beat. There was a gentle light flickering in his eyes, instantly pulling me back many years, to when we first met. He is a student from a poor background, and I am the benefactor. First place again. That's amazing. He broke the record. My little brother is going to be something great in the future. It turns out that fate circles back. The trees once planted will later become the umbrellas that shield us from the wind and rain. On this side of Switzerland, the years pass peacefully, while on the other side of the world, someone is troubled. In the past, the atmosphere in the brightly lit private rooms was extremely low. In the eye of the storm, Lu Xinye smoked one cigarette after another, his face dark and terrifying, leaving no one daring to speak, because Jiang Ran was missing. It has been 7 days since their last unhappy parting, and he has not received any sign of reconciliation. Feeling inexplicably anxious, he couldn't help but go home to look for someone, only to find that they had long since disappeared. All the commonly used items and documents were gone. Calling her key was blocked. Other contact methods only show a red exclamation mark. This is not going out to have fun. It feels more like a complete severance of ties. Lu Xinye did not believe that Jiang Ran dared to leave him. She had long been spoiled by him. A canary with a broken wing could never leave its owner. But what if? The more he thought about it, the more restless he became. So he simply stopped thinking and gathered a group of people to drink. But with alcohol in his system, the feeling of unease burned even stronger. Something intangible slipped out of his control, leaving him quite displeased. Song Yao arrived late, her black silk straps revealing large patches of fair skin, and she directly sat down next to Lu Xinye, skillfully pressing close. Who made Brother Yi unhappy? Tell me, and I'll think of a way. Lu Xinye waved his hand dismissively. It's nothing. Don't worry about it. But Song Yao pretended to be clever and guessed. Is it because sister-in-law ran off? Stop meddling. I told you. Lu Xinye suddenly raised his voice, interrupting her like an enraged lion on the brink of fury. Song Yao couldn't help but shiver, her expression turning red with grievance. But this time, Lu Xinye didn't comfort her. Instead, he continued to drink on his own and coldly said, if you keep being a buzzkill, just get lost. Song Yao wisely kept her mouth shut, proactively pouring wine to admit her mistake. As reckless as she was merely a vassal living by the whims of men. When no longer allowed to absorb nutrients, she would wither away as quickly as a flower. That day, Lu Xinye was utterly drunk. Being helped back home by someone, lying on the cold big bed, he called out painfully, "Wife, pour me a glass of water." But what answered him was endless silence. On the 8th day of arriving in Bern, I got up as usual. I was ready to check today's travel guide like opening a blind box, but found the paper completely blank. Confused, I finished my breakfast just as the door opened. Pei Xingjian surprisingly didn't go to work and walked in with a huge package in hand. Good morning, sister. The other party greeted me like a lively puppy, and I responded with a smile, but my gaze was fixed on the package. What is this? Pei Xingjian urged me to open it. After some unwrapping, its true form was revealed. It's a complete set of drawing boards, easels, brushes, and paints. I had it custom made, and I had to urge them several times. They said I was being annoying. Do you like it, sister? I traced the corner of the drawing board, where my initials were carved. It felt like my throat was blocked with cement, so sour that I couldn't speak. And I just nodded desperately. I like it. I like it very much. I haven't touched these things in a long time. Back when I was raised at home by Lu Xinye, I didn't have to do anything. Painting, which I have persisted in for nearly a decade, has become my only joy. I posted my works online, attracting quite a few likes and compliments, and before long, my followers exceeded 10,000. Some even sent me private messages asking if I could take commissions. I don't care how much I earn. Just being liked and needed by others gives me a great sense of accomplishment. So I did it, until Lu Xinye discovered it. That time the single master happened to be a boy. He directly exploded in anger. Jiang ran. I've been treating you well. Is it so you can put a green hat on me? I frantically explained that I didn't. But he just wouldn't believe me. I caused a ruckus for days and nights without going home, to the point where everyone thought I was ungrateful. In the end, I had to back down. I deactivated my account and stopped taking orders. Lu Xinye, feeling uneasy, threw away everything related to painting, then held me close and kissed me gently. Ran, having you is enough for me. Those things don't matter. At that moment, I nodded in agreement as if I had lost my mind. But at this moment, the searing heat in my heart tells me, passion is also very important. It is not worth giving up for anything else. The weather was beautiful that day, with bright sunshine. And I chose a park near the hotel as my location for inspiration. Pei Xinjian helped me move my equipment over and set it up. Standing with arms crossed, he looked at me with a smile in his eyes and said, I can't wait to see my sister show off her skills. I shyly tightened my grip on the paintbrush, saying, I'm afraid my hand has gotten rusty. The painting might provoke both gods and men. Pei Xinjian raised his eyebrows. Then I will go against the gods and be my sister's #1 fan. He spoke with sincerity and determination. My breath caught for a moment. The sunlight hit my body, and my short black hair danced in the wind. I will probably never forget this morning and the man standing in front of me for the rest of my life. Pei Xinjian had work today and couldn't accompany me. After expressing his regret, he left, turning back 3 times. I took a deep breath, savoring the beauty of nature, and then immersed myself in my own world. Time passed in a flash, and soon it was noon. I didn't notice at all. It was only when Pei Xinjian called to remind me to go eat that I finally realized. I had just returned to the hotel when my phone rang again. Thinking it was still Pei Xinjian, I answered it without a second thought. To my surprise, I was mistaken. I heard the last voice I wanted to hear. Jiang ran. Lu Xinye didn't know whose phone number he used to call me. Is there something you need? Now, facing him, I wouldn't feel heartache, wouldn't shrink back, and wouldn't have any fluctuations. My tone was calm, no different from that of a stranger. There was a noticeable pause on the other end before he finally spoke again. Where are you? Send me the address, and I'll come pick you up. I was quite puzzled. Why are you coming to pick me up? Lu Xinye's voice was rarely gentle, as he slowly persuaded. Ran. I know you're very angry, but it's been so many days. It's time to cool down. Besides, you can't take care of yourself, and staying out there for too long will cause trouble for society. If you get sick or hurt, I'll be the one who worries. At worst, we can wait for you to come back, and we'll work together to find an identical necklace. After all, things are lifeless, but people are alive. We still have to live our lives. I calmly reminded him. Lu Xinye, I won't go back. We are already divorced. Seeing that I was unyielding, Lu Xinye gradually grew impatient. It's just a game. A month has almost passed, and soon we can go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to remarry. How simple are the rules of the game? Can't you understand them? I cannot understand his way of thinking. Why he always makes me swallow my anger and cater to their self-righteous rules. Now I don't want to understand anymore. But you're the only one playing. I've always been serious. Divorce is divorce. Don't contact me again. We're done. Hanging up the phone, I let out a sigh of relief. This can be considered a full stop to the past. I am about to start a new life. On the 12th day, Pei Xinjian worked tirelessly from dawn till dusk and finally finished work ahead of schedule. Travel became 2 people. We went skiing in the Alps, diving down from great heights like free birds during the day, and relaxing in taverns at night, tasting wine and listening to music. We hiked to the Jungfrau, measuring the height of the world with our own footsteps, laughing and cheering at the summit, marveling that life should be like this. We strolled through the streets of the old town, slowly savoring the beauty that time has settled, and then left a photo at the stunning spots. Along the way, we observed with our eyes, recorded with our cameras, and painted on our canvases. By the time we reached our destination, the living room of the hotel room was already filled with paintings. I pondered how to handle this, as it was definitely impossible to bring them all back home. Pei Xingjian suddenly said, "We can sell them to those who love them." I hesitated a bit, even though these paintings have already soared into the sky with Pei Xingjian. I just thought that his filter as a close person was too thick. I had little confidence in gaining the approval of strangers. But in the end, I decided to give it a try. We framed the paintings and set up a stall in the open space. Unexpectedly, we received a lot of attention. Children liked the simple and vivid animal portraits, while adults preferred the more evocative landscapes. Before the sun set, more than a dozen paintings had already found their new homes. I counted the money in my hands, unable to contain my joy. So much money that I earned myself. Pei Xingjian worked hard all day, his eyes shining as he stared at me. Sister has become a rich lady, and brother is hungry. I waved my hand grandly and bought the freshly made hot dogs from the street vendor in full. Give it to my sister. I, Jiang Ran, am not a rice bug. I can support myself, and I can take care of others too. After we were full and satisfied, we lay on the grass, gazing at the starry sky, counting the stars to wrap up this trip. Suddenly, a shooting star streaked across the sky, and I pulled Pei Xingjian to make a wish. When I opened my eyes again, I found him staring at me without blinking. The emotions in his eyes sparkled under the moonlight. I awkwardly turned my head away. "What are you looking at?" "Look at the shooting star." "The shooting star can't grant my wish. Only my sister can." I laughed awkwardly. "Nonsense. I don't have that kind of ability." "Yes, you do. In my senior year of high school, The spots for underprivileged students were all taken by those who had plenty of money. I was so hungry I couldn't afford a meal, and in desperation, I filled out my information on a website that had no entry requirements. I prayed that someone would see me, that someone would help me. I didn't need much, just enough to fill my stomach. Before long, my wish came true. An older sister sponsored me. She was very kind, not only willing to give me money but also caring about me, praising me when I won awards and encouraging me when I faced setbacks in my entrepreneurial endeavors. Sister, I lost my parents early on and didn't have many friends at school. I consider you family. Pei Xingjian spoke eloquently, at a steady pace, as if he were finally expressing words he had kept hidden in his heart for many years, rehearsed many times. But I couldn't be as composed as he was. I broke down and cried uncontrollably. I was too excessive. To actually cut off contact with you. How sad he must be, thrown away by the family in his heart. Pei Xingjian gently wiped away my tears. At that time, I was indeed very sad, thinking I wasn't strong enough, that I didn't deserve to be chosen by you. So I turned my sorrow into motivation, working desperately to build my career, and stood before my sister again. What a huge misunderstanding. I shook my head frantically and explained, I didn't mean it that way. I just feel like I can't help you anymore and don't want to disturb you. It's all my fault. I was too clever for my own good. Pei Xingjian, hearing my apology, hugged me tightly. Sister is not at fault. Sister is just too kind. After a long while, I finally calmed down. Sitting up straight, I declared, go ahead, tell me your wish. And this time I will definitely make it happen for you. Pei Xingjian's eyes were bright with enthusiasm as he blurted out, I want to share a household registration book with my sister. I was fully prepared, ready to go through fire and water to help him achieve it. But I hadn't prepared enough. I didn't expect such an answer. For a moment, my mind went blank, and I couldn't react. How can two adults be registered on one household registration book? It's hard to guess. I looked at him uncertainly. Pei Xingjian, however, had somehow changed from sitting on the ground to kneeling on one knee, holding a shiny large stone that he had pulled out from who knows where. Sister, I like you. Will you marry me? To be honest, it was a bit sudden. After all, I had just ended a terrible marriage. But Pei Xingjian is not Lu Xinye, and I am no longer the weak and incompetent Jiangran I once was. This journey has allowed me to find myself and given me the ability to save myself. Even if the future is not as I wish, I will not wallow in self-pity. I will only continue to strive to live on. There is still so much beauty in this world waiting for me to explore. So I asked my heart. I found that I also liked Pei Xingjian. Without hesitation, I extended my left hand. Pei Xingjian, be my family. After returning to the country, I moved into Pei Xingjian's spacious apartment. He said that what he used to live in could only be called a house. It was my arrival that made it a home. I can't quite express what I'm feeling. Maybe it's happiness. After settling down with food and accommodation, I reopened my account. I posted the paintings from my previous trip to Switzerland. Soon, I started receiving likes and followers. Surprisingly, someone left a comment in the comments section. The style looks familiar. Is it teacher Xingran who suddenly disappeared many years ago? That was my former online name, taken from Rising Gradually. I can't believe someone still remembers me. I replied. It's me. The person replied instantly. Ah, the teacher is back. I miss your cooking so much. Can we make an appointment? Sure. The private messages in the background suddenly increased a lot. I was flattered and overjoyed. My heart was practically blooming with happiness. And I immediately messaged Pei Xingjian to share my delight. He gave a thumbs up. Then, not long after, the number of followers on the account grew exponentially. I suspected he had bought followers from me and confronted him about it. He actually said, I couldn't help but show off my amazing wife. So I posted it in the company group. You don't mind, do you, sis? I suddenly felt my face flush and my ears burn. We had only gotten our marriage certificate a few days ago. How could this person call me so naturally? A few months ago. I never would have imagined that life could not only emerge from the shadows but also fall into a honeypot. So never give up on life easily. The turnaround could happen in the next second. But I never expected that I had already walked 800 miles. And there were still people immersed in the past. While out buying paint, Lu Xianye found me. He walked over, suppressing his anger. Jiang ran. No more fussing around. We are going to remarry right now. I found it absurd. Big brother, if you come any later, they'll have already had my child. In the coffee shop, I sat face to face with Lu Xianye. The manager personally brought over the coffee. His attitude warm and polite. Mrs. Cheng Ran, this order is on the house. Please don't be polite. Your artwork has attracted quite a few customers to the shop. You are my benefactor. I couldn't refuse, so I politely expressed my gratitude. Once the store manager left, Lu Xianye's expression was not very good. Have you started drawing again? I nodded calmly. His expression stiffened, a hint of panic subtly emerging. At this moment, I suddenly realized something. He did it on purpose. Over the years, Lu Xianye has superficially provided me with food and clothing. But in reality, he wanted to raise me to be dependent on him, a daughter that cannot live without him. He doesn't let me work, forbids me from socializing, and only allows me to revolve around him. His joys and sorrows are my entire world. His aloofness is the rope around my neck. He revels in the absolute mental control of being the dominant one. But now that I have the ability to live independently, he is afraid. Leave the hard work of making money to me. You don't have to do any of this. Lu Xianye gently persuaded. Let's remarry now, and you can return to the simple and happy life you once had. I couldn't help but sneer. At this point, he still thinks of me as a fool. I opened my phone, and a picture of the marriage certificate fell out, placed right in front of him. Lu Xianye. I got married. The red certificate. The real seal pierced through the man's eyes. He struggled to maintain his calm facade, which was torn apart inch by inch, unleashing a furious beast. Pei Xingzhan. How do you know him? How could he possibly be interested in you? I tilted my head slightly and said, why not? I'm doing great. I have also won national awards, been called a genius, and gained admission to a top art academy through my own abilities. It's perfectly normal for someone as great as me to be liked. Lu Xianye was momentarily taken aback. He couldn't deceive himself, for he was deeply attracted to the confident woman before him. But this only made him more furious. How dare she leave him and throw herself into another man's arms? But he had already lost the means to control her. A sense of powerlessness and loss of control overwhelmed him. It also bent his back and lowered his head. After a long time, I heard an apology. Ran. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I won't play any betting games anymore. I've changed all my bad habits. Please forgive me and come back to my side. Jiang Ran. I beg you. Lu Xianye's eyes were red. A rare moment of humility, but I remained unmoved. It's impossible now. I left the meeting early, regarded as a trivial interlude. I turned away and forgot it. Continue to enjoy creating and managing your own account. When Pei Xingzhan has free time, we go out to the countryside for inspiration. He has recently fallen in love with photography, taking his camera everywhere to capture me and the scenery, resulting in a lot more photos in our family album. Everything was fine until that day. A large number of negative comments appeared in the newly released dynamic comment section. Everyone, don't be fooled by this bad woman. She's not a good person, immoral, unfaithful, abandoning her husband, and seducing other men. I know her. She usually pretends to be so well-behaved. But in reality, she's been draining her husband for years, and once she finds someone better, she kicks him to the curb. Many people spoke on my behalf, but there were also those who listened and believed, starting to denounce me. In no time, the comments and private messages became a chaotic mess, filled with confusion. I was briefly flustered, but soon I noticed the subtle clues. I found the leading account and sent a private message. Song Yao, is that you? She replied quickly. Yes, it's me. You have harmed Yigo so badly. He is now seriously ill, not eating or drinking, like a living corpse. I want to take revenge for him and ruin you. Her unbearable curses filled the chat box, making communication impossible. She simply logged out of her account. Contemplating how to respond, Pei Xinjian soon learned of the news and called. Sister, you don't need to worry. I've already notified the legal department to gather evidence in the comments section and will sue them for defamation one by one, making those who spread rumors pay the price. A warmth spread through my heart. This feeling of being protected by family is truly wonderful, but aside from that, I still have to deal with the source of the trouble. I went to the hospital where Lu Xinya was staying. Pushing the door open, I saw Song Yao squatting by the bed, trying every possible way to coax Lu Xinya into eating. But he was driven away. Get lost. It's because of you, Ran, that I won't forgive her. I don't want to see you again. Yet the next second, the chilling atmosphere dissipated completely. He saw me, surprised and excited. Ran, you came to see me. Song Yao was pushed aside, her face alternating between red and white. The look she gave me was filled with extreme resentment. I ignored her malice and said to Lu Xinya, I'm not here to see you. After all, we are already divorced. And your death has nothing to do with me. Lu Xinya was suddenly stunned. These were the words he once said to me. Now the boomerang had struck him, causing pain that made it hard to breathe. I came just to say, you have already affected my normal life. Can you please just go away? Lu Xinya, stop torturing yourself to appear deep and sentimental. The pain you're experiencing now is nothing compared to a fraction of what I've endured over the years. As for Song Yao, the lawyer's letter will arrive soon. Your actions will land you in prison. Song Yao instantly turned pale, hurriedly seeking help from Lu Xinya. Brother Yi, please help me. I'm just standing up for you. That shameless woman doesn't love you at all. I'm the only one who truly cares for you. Upon realizing what the other party had done, Lu Xianya's chest heaved with anger as he slapped her hard. How dare you? The ruthless man showed no mercy, instead indicating that she would not be able to survive in the city. Song Yao had completely lost her support. She sat on the ground in a daze, being dragged away by Lu Xianya's men. Her future life was destined to be bleak and miserable. The ward was left with just the two of us. Lu Xianya explained in a flattering tone. Ran, I really don't know the dirty things she did, but I promise you won't see her again. I'll take care of it. Then what about you? I don't want to see you again either. Can you take care of that? I looked at him. Lu Xinya fell silent. His expression was pained, his body trembling involuntarily, and he asked unwillingly, Ran, we've known each other for 20 years. Can you really let go of our feelings? Have you forgotten all the good times we had? Can't you forgive me just this once? I shook my head firmly. Out of these 20 years of knowing each other, I've been in pain for 10. Lu Xinya, I would have never forgotten your kindness for the rest of my life. But now that I see you, all I can think of is you in bed with other women. Your despicable spirit of belittlement. Your endless trampling of sincerity. Your betrayal and infidelity. I've suffered enough. I owe you nothing. If you still have a shred of conscience, don't disturb me anymore. Having said all this, I've done my utmost. The tears on the man's face held no beauty whatsoever. I didn't spare him a second glance and turned to leave. Behind me is the painful weeping of repentance. I am certain that I have completely freed myself from the quagmire. It is the depths of winter, and the rare sunshine outside the hospital is bright. Pei Xingzhan leans against the front of the car, tall and elegant, with arms wide open to welcome my arrival. I threw myself into his arms, feeling the warmth. From then on, the long-awaited love and home would always be by my side.